Warning: Tattness TV may contain coarse language and mature themes that may not be suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
You never see it coming when the sniper hit. That's my kind of this like infinite living with a ninja strength and confidence. The sun saw me dial it in, showed y'all what time it is. Shining only common sense. Daytime is over with, nightfall. Any minute X on my list, I black and night crawl. Here and there you see me, after that a nightfall. On his own sword, you better come in accord with I'm striking with you flat. See, I don't sense the like of it. Anything can happen when you live. Engineered to thrive, survivors in 9 to 5. 5 out of 9, you out of a job though. You think I'm pie made now? See me at 5-0.
Tattness TV starts now.
What is up? And welcome again to Tattness TV. We are still here, of course, once again, thankfully, right on time as always, joined by my co-host, Tom. I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching into reverse and fleeing the scene, Bruno. That was a lengthy one, bro. This is getting exhausting, doing new names for every week.
I mean, like, honestly, I love it. I have nothing else to say other than the fact that I was not expecting that. And I wonder if that would be a good way to battle in court. Be like, listen, I played the Uno reverse card and went backwards. I never hit them. Like, do you have any proof? And they're like, yes, Mr. Bruno, the fact that your bumper is now intertwined with theirs, that would be the indicator.
I feel like if you get away, then by default you win. It's a race.
Yeah.
If they didn't catch you.
It's like the wacky racers. I'm dirt dastardly, and my mutt dog is over there snickering away when I drink a couple beers and hit somebody in a car. Oh my god.
Right. You know, that it makes sense to me. I mean, that's just how I see it. I mean, I'm sure the courts would heavily disagree.
I'm pretty sure every court is actually a naval court, so, like, you know, they don't count. You ever watch those videos of people that argue that the court does not hold any jurisdiction over them?
Yeah, I've seen that, and I was like, I don't think that's going to work out the way you think it's going to work out, my guy, but, you know, good on him for trying, I suppose.
It's a cool idea. Like, I understand where it all comes from. They are referring to being sovereign citizens, and what that means is they don't actually reside in the United States of America. They tend to make claims like, oh, I did not choose to be born in America. I was given a social security number. This is all happenstance, and now that I'm an adult, I can choose. So they'll do things like not have a driver's license, and then say like they're traveling down the road, because in the Constitution we have the right to travel without being impeded. But they weren't talking about a fucking car now, were they?
Right. A little bit different than the original concept, but hey, man, whatever works for you. I mean, they try their best. I'll give them that.
I think the only people that get away with it are what are those people called? The Amish or
right.
Mennonites, because they use a fucking horse. I don't know if you know this. They don't drive a motor carriage.
I spent some time living in Mennonite territory, to believe it or not, way back in the day. It's weird. It's definitely weird. To go to a Timmy's and see a horse and carriage in the drive-thru is just next level bizarre. But welcome to Canada. You know what I'm saying?
We have Mennonites down here too. In fact, 4th of July, me and my oldest were traveling back from the fireworks, and it was a long distance away. So we're getting right to the end. We're going over the hill that would lead us to our road, and I see this like waving light kind of like going back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like some sort of like old-timey miner that's like hitchhiking his way down the road? No, it was a goddamn horse and buggy rolling down the road. with no headlights, mind you. Like they don't, this isn't Rudolph the Red-Nosed fucking Hyundai or some nonsense. This is old Ames with fucking Betty, and they just got done like watching the explosions in the sky that the devil makes or whatever. And I got so scared because I was like, I swear I would have never seen him. I would have just smashed right into him. Now, here's the thing: if I hit them and they're not citizens of the United States, did I hit anybody?
My boy, shout out to my boy Maxim, who is from Mexico, and in a killer metal band in Mexico that's killing it over there. Awake, shout out to them. He's actually in the new documentary about your boy, so I appreciate the hell out of him. And I gotta tell you, man, career highlight would be having somebody successful in Mexico in the documentary telling Canadians that your boy is a Canadian national treasure and that Canada needs to take care of me and protect me at all costs. I was like, wow, what a huge compliment, my guy. Yes, and the missus asks an obvious question, and yeah, I suppose they do. Speaking of her, I'm going to give her a little bit of a shout out right now, a little bit of a nod of respect. I got to tell you, man, there's something really important about having somebody that supports your shenanigans and your nonsense. And so mad credit to her for this. I tell you right now, I love my fans, but I will never like show them my home. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is too far. That's too private. I need my space. I need my personal. However, I'll give them this. Now, the wife showed me this, and I was immediately like, I am ordering this. We are going to own this, and I'll be damned if she didn't beat me to it and went and bought it instead. But this, my guy, is our shower curtain currently.
Oh, that's fucking amazing. That is just pimping to the extreme.
That is rad as hell, isn't it?
Fucking Mac 10 with a freaking
just double fisting, just letting her have it. I don't know what that cat's firing at. I don't even care. It's just menacing as shit, and I love it. So she doubled down. I was like, I'm ordering that, and she's like, I'll do it first.
I already got it.
Right. You need to do me a solid, my guy, because I have not heard the end of this. Not giving her the damn recipe that you said you're going to give her. Every week, I have to hear about this fucking recipe, bro. And then the whole trade-off with the craft dinner versus mac and cheese US, she's like, he ain't getting shit till I get my recipe.
Once again, I could literally drive like 10 minutes that way. I just have to pay a fucking small fee to bring it across the border again. But I can go get it myself. It's right there.
Yeah, that solves your problem. I still got to hear about this fucking recipe every fucking week, bro.
I'm telling you right now, brother. I got you. Fucking, I'm so surprised that the Google machine does not work up there, but I got you.
That's what I said. You're like, no, I need his recipe. I'm like, where do you think he got it from?
Google. Fucking, I am nowhere near crafty enough to like not do it that way. But I'm sending.
I literally just heard her laughing from a distance. So
good. There's only one of the two ways that joke was gonna go over. Either like good and a laugh, or bad. And she was like, "So what's Tom's address? I gotta send him a little gift." And all of a sudden she shows him just whack, and.
Yeah, it might have been a maniacal laugh, so don't feel too safe just yet. I don't know if that was a laugh of I figured out how this man's gonna die, or I see the humor in this conversation. I don't know. I can't promise anything.
It's probably a laugh of like, he finally stepped over the fucking border. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker.
She'll just be waiting for you at a Timmy's. She knows now that you like your Timbits. And
See, that's how she's gonna get me. She's gonna do me like Peter Griffin and fucking have like a trap up above, like a box of Timmy's. I'm like, ooh, Timmy's, and I'll fucking get my ass in there. Also, mouse trap.
There you go. It's the only way to do it.
Now, I've seen pictures of you guys with wolves. Is she like some sort of like dire wolf raiser that I should know about? Is she gonna come with like a pack?
I mean, maybe. A friend of ours owns that wolf, and he is rad as hell. And so yeah, we had to do the announcement picture for the baby because you know how I am, like
a little dramatic, just a smidge.
Yeah, maybe. It was her idea. I loved it. I thought, you know what, we have to do this. She made it happen. That's rad. It's just one of those things where people would expect no less from me, I guess. Like, go big.
I thought it was dope as fuck. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit, look, what's Keith up to with this old lady? Oh, that's a bit. Is that a fucking wolf?
It sure is. And recently holding a sloth, and holding baby kangaroos, petting wallabies and grown kangaroos, and I scratched a porcupine under the chin and they love it. So, I mean, my life's pretty weird, man.
Where are you running into these wild animals, Keith? Do you have like some sort of like Tiger King thing going on in your residence, or what's up?
I'm missing the mullet, but no, we got a place out here that we went to, and it was super awesome. And you got to like just go see all these animals and hold baby kangaroos, hold a sloth. That was so cool. I love animals, man. So, that's just another awesome thing that the missus set up, and I'm super grateful because that was like the coolest thing.
Do you know what the craziest thing is about sloths? Well, no, this isn't fun. I mean, it's just weird. Fucking, do you know when they are most in danger?
No idea.
When they take a shit. They only go
right,
to the ground to take a shit, and that is when they are like the most like stressed. And if you snap a twig too hard near them, they're gonna fucking die of a heart attack. Like, they are that stressed out. It's crazy.
Oh yes, so this happened. The wolf is like a puppy. He's so happy to be around people and excited. And now imagine trying to get a picture with an excited wolf that doesn't realize how large he is, how heavy he is. And so we get into position to get these pictures. Of course, he's jumping all over the place and wants love and affection, knocks us over. And the sign that she was holding to give the announcement, she like dropped that right in her forehead, and it nicked her forehead. So, she's laughing, whatever. And she goes to the house to get cleaned up, and I'm like, you're literally bleeding from the head. And she's like, what? By the time she got in the house, she was literally dripping on the floor and just cracking up, like, dang. Like, so she goes and cleans that up, comes back, we get these pictures. Our boy took about, I think, 90 some odd pictures, and maybe 4 of them were usable because this wolf,
please go. This wolf,
just super hyper and just so thrilled that you're there. There's pictures of him trying to lick my face while we're trying to get this picture. Like, he jumps. I'm 6'5", dude. He jumps up to my face to lick me. His tooth once caught me right in the jaw, just because he jumped up and his mouth was open and it just connected. It didn't do any harm, but he's just so excited, and it's a wolf, dude. Like, but he jumps up to your face, and I'm 6'5", and he reaches my face. As his owner says, he will challenge your height. Like, he can jump.
Wolves, wolves are mysterious and crazy, and like the fact that you had enough trust in your friend and in the animal itself to like do this was really like mind-boggling. Like,
oh yeah, we go visit him.
Wolf or
yeah, and we go visit him, and he gets excited. He loves visitors, man. So, you know, he just gets all excited, jumps all over you, and then he goes off and grabs like a deer head and swings it by the ear and jumps on his trampoline, and then comes back and sniffs you, jumps on you, licks you. He's just a sweet wolf, man. He's very affectionate.
I once like flirted with the idea of getting a hybrid wolf, like they're, you know, part dog, part wolf. So I messaged the person that breeds them, and super nice person. She was like, yeah, normally they go for about like 1,500, 2,000. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, it's a hybrid animal. And not only that, she has to come and investigate the area that you're keeping them, because apparently they're known escape artists. Like, they will, if they can even sniff a way to get the fuck out, they get the fuck out. Like, does your buddy say that this wolf likes to get out, or like, is it
no? He's got an acreage, and you know, so he's got a lot of room to run around, and yeah. So okay. He's good. But he's very content. He loves his owner. I don't think he would ever try to leave him. But he's just the sweetest, you know. Love that wolf. His name's Crash, by the way, and he has an Instagram account. So that's pretty rad. And probably more followers than I have.
Crash was a goddamn dingo. You tell your friend to change that name.
How dare you?
I think Wolf's got the biggest like kick in the nuts, like, you know, just to use a human metaphor, sure, to explain it. But like, if you look at the 18 and 1700s, when they were like murking wolves left and right, like, in fact, they like murdered them to almost damn near extinction in the U.S. Like and like Yellowstone National Park, there was a ton of wolves. They actually had like super packs of wolves like that big, and they went so hard at the wolves based off of like witchcraft and the fact they're murdering all our women and raping our children or some nonsense, that they literally just put a flat out like kill all wolves, to the place where like we had none in America. And the fact is, like, they weren't doing anything to the livestock. They weren't hurting people. I think there's like three, maybe, I'm gonna look this up actually before I just talk a bunch of shit about it, but like I feel like the casualty rate on wolves in America is like obscenely low, but you guys have like a ton of wolves in Canada.
Yeah, there's a fair amount. I just got a really important message that I should probably put out there. A bit of an announcement, actually. So, right quick, let me just air that, and then we'll get back to this. If, you know, yeah, this is apparently very urgent and highly important, so...
God damn it.
Every time.
I should have fucking known it. I didn't even bother looking up. Like, I know what he's doing. Give me like one fucking like real number, you piece of shit.
I haven't been sued yet, so I'm really chipping away at...
R. Kelly does not have any room to sue anybody. Like, he hears the word courtroom, he's like, I didn't do it. He's 18.
Oh man, that's good stuff. I mean,
just thinking about your friend with the wolf, like the ability to own a wild animal like that and you know, make it yours. If you could have, and we're not talking about any limitations, I'm saying if you say you want a marine animal, you're gonna have an ocean to keep it in, anything like that. If you could have a wild animal as your friend and pet, what would it be?
Damn. Oh, the possibilities, I'm telling you. Oh God. What the hell would I want? I've always been a major fan of monkeys, but yeah, right. But if I could just go balls to the wall and get any animal, oh man, where would I go with this? Maybe a panther or some shit. That'd be cool.
Ooh, I've seen videos of people that like find panthers or whatever, and I mean they're essentially big cats.
Yeah.
Really quickly, just to tag back on it, although wolves can be dangerous to people, incidents involving wolves are rare. In North America, there have only been 2 documented cases of wolves killing people in the last 100 years.
Yeah, man, they're pretty chill, I feel. Don't mess with them and you'll probably be fine. We do have an actual announcement to make, for real this time. And R. Kelly has nothing to do with it, thankfully. I'd like to keep it that way, to be honest. But first of all, shout out to... I've been hearing this a lot lately from a lot of people, that this show has become like part of their routine, and they look forward to it every week, and that means a hell of a lot. I've been getting messages, emails, comments, and things of that nature pretty much around the same... Everyone's saying the same thing, that this show has become part of their weekly routine. I appreciate the hell out of that. They say they look forward to it every week. You know what, man? I do too. I really do. So, in the future, there's going to be a new way to view the show, a new platform to view the show. There is now a website that you can go to, once again, to buy merch, to check up on what's going on with everything I'm doing. And we'll air on the website as well. So it's just another place for everyone to find the show. And yeah, man. So that is something that people can look into for themselves if they prefer to watch the show that way. And man, oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, man, there's yeah, I will definitely post that, and that would, I appreciate the support. So, you know, that's just gonna be another way for people to check out what's going on with me. I've also been asked recently, like, are you still gonna do more movies, or do you have anything coming up and whatever? So I think it's obvious why I'm not currently working on anything in that vein, because I was literally, I think it was 2 months ago now, asked to audition for a part. They felt like it'd be really cool because of my fighter background, and I'm known for that first, that I did a cameo for a movie to play a fighter character. It wasn't like lead role or anything, and I don't really care. I was gonna do it for the most part. I thought, well, that's all right. It wasn't a big payday or whatever. It's 12 grand. But the problem was they're filming in South Korea, and I'm like, pregnant wife at home, you're off in South Korea filming, probably not the time. So I had to pass on that, unfortunately. Otherwise, it would have been pretty cool. But yes, in the future, once the baby's here, I will be back to entertaining offers and roles. But speaking of which, here we are. You have asked about this numerous times. So as it turns out, since we are now past the due date, if we reach 10 days past the due date, it's immediately go to the hospital. We're doing this. And that day happens to be next Wednesday, which means I will not be here. So, you know,
I can manage. I think people understand if you're not in the lead role for the show, but if you give me the ins and outs of how to get it to the platform and just run it, I can manage. I can get this.
And I love that about you, and I believe in you, and I trust you fully. But I thought, you know what? Let's let the viewers decide what they would like, because we could go about this a few ways. You have been kind enough to offer to basically take over. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. You've been kind enough to offer to bring on a co-host to fill my spot, or fill your spot while you fill my spot, I should say, and do the damn thing live. in my place, which I appreciate. If fans and viewers would like that, then by all means. Otherwise, what we could do for that week is potentially just kind of do a pre-recorded show that will air the same time that week. I'll be there, but it's not live, so like
no interaction.
People won't be able to comment and be part of the conversation and whatnot, and I don't know if they're gonna love that. So I mean, this is all hypothetical. We don't know yet if that will be the case.
What you are saying, though, is we would like to leave it up to the fans, the ones that actually watch the show, what would be more entertaining to them.
Yeah, we'll get a general consensus. I mean, we also eventually at some point have to decide on what's just better in general, what works best. I don't mind missing the show and having you take over. I mean, they can't miss you if you won't go away. So I will peace out, and I have full faith in who I believe you would probably have replace.
I mean, to be fair, if anybody wanted to know who I would invite to do it, if he was available, I would invite my current co-host of New England Natives. It's another show I do every other Sunday with a guy from Maine. Yeah, exactly. His name is Jason Almy. Check out his stuff. He's been in the business a very long time. He's very professional. He's very funny. Here's the thing about that, where fortunately Tattness keeps me kind of reined in. He definitely wants us to say what we want, but he also has expectations, which is good. You got to have expectations. TV is not podcast. So when I want to go on a major tangent about some ridiculously bad stuff, I remember that in Keith I Trust, I go about the course, and I don't do these things. Now, Jason, on the other hand, he only knows one way. The man has a PhD, but he is just a little crass. So if anybody agrees with that, please we'll definitely do it. But be aware what the show will be that time. The show's
right. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
I gotta mention Barbara, by the way, because I keep seeing her name popped up, and I appreciate the fact that she has Hunger Games logo as her picture. So good on you, Barbara.
See, the feedback has been killer. And believe it or not, this I believe is meant to be a compliment, but even the wife says, "You guys are idiots," but that's what makes the show enjoyable. Is the two of you are idiots, and that's why people love it. It's two idiots being what they are. I mean, I think Bruno might be my spirit animal. We are two. I always said that Tattness and Heath McCleary are two halves of a whole idiot, but I feel like Bruno and I are two halves of a whole idiot every week. So it is what it is.
I like to think of, us being a half and a half of a brain that equals one really awesome super brain.
I like it. I mean, normally I have two brain cells that are fighting for third place, and they're both losing epically. So, I'll take that. That sounds like an improvement of the situation at hand. I like your wording better.
Thank you. Do you think it'd be like a Quado type situation? Like, am I going to be hanging out your stomach being like, open your mind? There's some like nonsense, or is it just like us becoming an amalgamation of Keith and Tom, which would be cool until we were like, wait a minute, we got two wives. What do we do about this? And then it becomes a big thing, and then it becomes like a Three's a Company episode.
I don't even know. I never put that much thought into it, and I respect your ability to take something weird and make it weirder.
You gotta think these things out, buddy. Like, I am a man who thinks about landmines. I would have been fantastic in World War I. Like, nope, landmine, nope, landmine, nope, that's not good. If I planned it out everything right now, like Batman, Batman plans everything out like way before it even happened.
I would have been confetti in World War One. It wasn't a celebration, but I would definitely make it festive, because stepping on said landmine, and it wouldn't be pretty, but that's the way she goes. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, we can't all be soldiers or whatever. Some of us have to be cannon fodder.
Yeah, and that's my place. I know my place. Now another announcement. That terrible segue. I don't think it has anything to do with anything, but here we are. When I do come back, I don't know how long I'll be gone at this point. We'll play that by ear. When I do come back, however, because it's been requested by several fans, which I appreciate, here's what we're doing. I feel it's time. I've done this for quite a few shows over the years, and people seem to appreciate it. They seem to enjoy it, and it's that's awesome.
Ooh, yay. Joining us, Barbara.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Do you know Barbara? Is she coming from a different show? Like how is this?
She's actually in Nova Scotia, so that's that's pretty cool. I appreciate the love, even though I don't live there anymore. Definitely always appreciated. But yes, the Ask Me Anything shows always seem to be a favorite for fans, and they get to ask whatever they want. And I thought, you know what? Y'all love it so much, why not? So I thought that would be cool to just come back with that, give people what they want, let them email or even in the comment section ask questions and get answers, because sometimes people want to know things like they're not insiders to the business. They're not, sometimes they want to know what happens. And some people ask the weirdest shit, like fucking, how good is the catering on a movie set? And I'm like, that's a valid question. Like,
see, that's why I could not be a part of that, because my first question is be like, can I borrow $1,000? And by borrow, I mean have. So yeah, that's my.
I mean, that is a question. That's fair.
It is.
I didn't say they're going to like the answer. I'm just,
That's fair. You didn't. Damn it. See, that's why I'm going to send you the Kraft macaroni and cheese first, so you're so outraged by how that tastes that you'd be like, I'll say yes to anything. How about $1,000? Sure. Yeah, whatever. Just don't ever send that, horrible disgrace of a dinner to me ever again. That's my concern, is like, you guys are going to have it and be like, what the fuck are you eating? You're a man that travels. You must have run into that before, where you picked up like a favorite snack somewhere else, and when you did, you realized that it tastes just off. Like, has that happened to you?
I've had things that were not as rad as I thought they would be. I believe Florida, when I was out there, I went to one of the grocery stores out there, and I got cereal that we don't have here, and it was like kind of the same shit, just different name as what we have here.
Can you describe the cereal to me? Because I could probably help you get. No.
Kix was basically corn pops. It was the same shit. So, and I was just kind of like, oh, that was underwhelming. Like, I thought it was going to be something so different and so unique, and it was just kind of another version of what we have here.
So you have Kix in Canada. What are they called there? No. Oh.
No, yeah, corn pops out here. And it's the same damn thing, just different name.
Corn pops are different. Kix are not corn pops. Corn pops are the ones that, not the taste that you can see. What was their tagline? Corn pops. If anybody remembers what the corn pops tagline was, please send it. But Kix are like one of those good for you cereals. And corn pops are like a treat. They got like that extra sugar to it. So unfortunately, you didn't get the full experience. Like, I can't think of a single cereal that does not translate up there. Do you guys have like Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Oh hell yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
I got a little, I got a little aggressive on that one. Sorry, bro. I'm very passionate about my CTC, bro. Dang, you did nothing wrong there, and I was just like, how dare you imply?
I really did, and I was like, do you have? You're like, how? What do you mean? We don't live in the fucking Stone Age, Tom. We have Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like all good, honest human beings do.
I just got real excited that someone else has like a knowledge of it, or
what? Like
some kind of passion for it, you know?
Is it because your world is a healthy world where like the people you know are like, ew, cereal, that's like, you know, crunchy, milky death, and like, you know, to us it's just awesome deliciousness? Or is it because nobody else eats Cinnamon Toast Crunch up there? Like,
they do.
Okay, good.
However, let me tell you, I always find a way. For years, I have consumed a whey protein that is Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored, and it is spot on. It is exact. I put it in my oatmeal, and then it just was killer. Oh yeah.
I'm trying to imagine what you just said. A whey protein. What the fuck is that?
A protein shake. So it's a powder you mix with water or milk, coconut milk even. I used almond milk with no sweetener, no sugar, and it was like a liquid, basically Cinnamon Toast Crunch shake. It was so good that it was the one flavor of protein I never got sick of. I would always switch it up, but no,
Never.
that was the go-to, because I could put the powder in my oatmeal and actually make it good.
Oatmeal's not bad. Like, if you throw enough brown sugar in that motherfucker, like, it'll be tasty. Like, it no longer is oatmeal. It's essentially brown sugar with some rolled oats in it at that point. But goddamn, brown sugar's good.
So this was a healthy version of oatmeal that was actually edible, and it was delicious.
Do you like your oatmeal runny or solid? Like, there's two different camps of people. Well, what's your what's your consistency? What's your viscousness of your oatmeal?
I like the thicker stuff. Shout out to, or I should say, rest in peace, Rich Piana. For those that don't know, was a bodybuilder who literally like would drink his oatmeal. It was so runny, and I was like, bro, that's gross. Like, that's not the move. But that I would watch videos of this dude drinking his oatmeal from the bowl, and I was like, that is too runny, sir. But yeah, I like thicker, but not like wallpaper paste, you know, texture either. But I would throw like frozen mixed berries and stuff in mine, so that way it gives it a different texture as well. And it was funny, man. My trainer in MMA was like, you are funny as hell to me. There's something seriously wrong with you. I'm like, why now? Like, I know, but what's the reason this time? And he was like, I've never seen somebody be able to get punched in the face and not only not mind at all, it's almost like you like it, but I ask you to incorporate oatmeal into your meal plan, and that's when you throw a fit like a child. Like, and I'm like, it's gross. Like, I had to force it down so much that I'm cool with it now. Like, I'll eat the plain crap, and I'm like, this is fine. I've just kind of beaten myself into submission.
I think we've had this talk before about what that is. I consider it food. What's the word? Fuck. I literally just had it in my head, but my beer is finally starting to kick in. By the way, Voodoo Ranger, if you want to sponsor our show and get a hold of Keith, he's all over the interwebs. But I love your beer, and I will take more of your beer. So, and Keith, likes stuff. So like send him beer too. But finally my beers. So it's Stockholm syndrome. That's the term. It's food Stockholm syndrome. That is what you get when you are like on a strict diet, or like trying to make yourself a better person, or you're trying to lose the gout, whatever it might be. These are the reasons that you follow a strict diet, and when you do so, you get food Stockholm syndrome, where you can convince yourself, like legitimately convince yourself, that oatmeal is the best thing on the planet, or a whey protein. What the hell did you say it was? Cinnamon Toast Crunch whey protein shake?
Yeah, bro. So it's a powder you mix and make a shake out of it. You don't even know what whey protein is? What the fresh hell goes on over there?
I mean, I'm sure thousands of people do, but have you seen me, brother? I don't drink protein powders. I accidentally got a protein cereal one time, and I was like, ew, who's trying to fucking poison me right now?
I'm gonna give you this, okay? You're the best co-host ever in the history of co-hosting. I would never imagine doing a show with anybody else, but I'm not sure you're qualified to pitch any kind of advertising or sponsorship pitches with, he likes stuff, send him beer. I'm not sure that gets the...
But I don't know what your Canadian palate tells you. It might tell you that my favorite beer on the planet is, Choose Force by Voodoo Ranger. It is complete nonsense. Like, when you drink a beer, what's your go-to beer flavor? Before I continue the conversation,
my go-to beer flavor?
Well, not flavor, but like who's your brand, and I can kind of like piece together the rest of it. Like, what is your brand of beer?
I mean, flavor-wise, I could tell you what it's not. You set yourself up.
I really did.
Yeah,
I didn't even see it coming. That was ridiculous.
I appreciate you for setting yourself up the way you do. I'm an ale guy for the most part. Like I said, I firmly believe there are exceptions to every rule. But I do feel like in most cases, IPAs have me convinced that IPA stands for I prefer anus, because they taste like shit.
Really?
A lot of them, yeah. So
this is actually an IPA, but here's the thing. 9.5% alcohol by volume, which for beer, that's kind of high, at least for Americans. What's the...
Wait, what was the percent?
9.5.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's impressive, actually.
It's a good beer. And not only that, but it tastes like beer. It literally does. Like, there is no confusing the taste of beer. If you've had a good beer, you know what beer tastes like. But this, aside from tasting like beer, has an aftertaste of fruit juice, which is fucking weird and it sounds gross, but you need to try it to see what it's like, because it is the most refreshing thing on the planet. Is that your energy drink I hear cracking in the background?
Oh, there's nothing energy drink about this, my friend.
Oh,
this is 7% beer. I had my energy drink earlier because I was groggy as shit. I just needed that extra boost. I always look forward to doing this show, but energy-wise, my cat woke me up this morning because see, the father-in-law gets it. A lot of them are absolute ass, bro. And like I said last show that I mentioned this, shout out to my boy Steve Austin. IPA nailed down. Like, this dude, his Broken Skull IPA is phenomenal. It's an exception to the rule, but I find, and there are a few exceptions, but for the most part, they taste like fucking pine cones, man. The hops of it all. You got some kind of like fruit flavored shit that kind of distracts you from the but it's just
it doesn't distract from it. Definitely doesn't do that. It emphasizes the already kind of like hoppy nature of the beer. It's like a play on bitter sweet. It's really something you have to experience. Trust me, it's It sounds confusing. It sounds stupid, and it definitely sounds like not like a manly thing to drink. But I'm telling you, it's the most enjoyable beer I've ever had. Because but here's the problem: is you say you don't like IPAs. Yeah, like, is it the bitter? Is it the citrus flavor? What about the IPA is not your thing?
Like I said, man, a lot of them it's the hoppiness of it all that's just too much, where they taste like pine cones or some shit. Like, it's not for me. Some of them are very good, but some of them are just, nah. Shout out to you for creating some kind of competition. Oh, dang. And you sent her the recipe and she's still coming at you. But she followed up, so oh yeah, that's a valid point as well. You're muted, my guy. I don't know what's going on there.
Sorry, I have a kid that's awake in the.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to me.
No, I was talking to you at that exact moment, but I forgot to unpause because I was trying to look up something that I was going to show you before the show's over. But what I said was, I don't know if it's like because I'm a 1950s, patriotic caveman or some nonsense, but I generally don't like friend request my friends' significant others unless they're like a friend to me first or something along those lines. I think it just sends like a weird vibey thing, or else I would have sent it to her, but I sent it to you. So did you send it to her? Did you do me that solid? Did you like?
Oh, I'm on air, bro. I didn't know I got it. So
I sent it to you. I was like, Keith, I demand you stop paying attention to the thing that you are in charge of, and you follow through, because your wife is scary. She's very many months pregnant as of this moment. She is capable of anything, whether it's lifting a tractor off of a dog or strangling me to death. One of those things could happen.
And I sleep every night with both eyes closed. Imagine that. I am a fucking soldier. This is a great idea. We could trade off. And yeah, dude, I like this. We could go places with this.
Where we just trade off American and Canadian things. Could be Canadian IPA. Maybe we should do an IPA trade-off. So we got to see how much to cost to send things. I know.
Oh, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about that.
All right. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You were talking about earlier how like you could turn down $12,000, like, because you could. If somebody was like, Tom Bruno, would you take $10,000 or $12,000? I'd be like, yep. They're like, didn't tell you what it was. I was like, I don't care. What's $12,000 for? Is it mine? Is it Nigerian prince money? Like, I won't fall for that shit 3 times, but I will take that $12,000.
Yeah, again, priorities. Money's always good. I mean, money's nice. But yeah, leaving a pregnant missus at home while you're fucking out filming in South Korea, probably not the best timing. I could make that money here and not. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. I do know what you're saying, but if you're asking me if I can relate to what you're saying, I can't, Keith. I can't relate to that. I make $12,000 in a year. I make far more than that. I'm, not doing too bad for myself, but I'm what they call white trash and blue collar. So the money I make is very much already spoken for. In fact, Keith, if you were to be like, hey, Tom, what are you doing next month? Do you want to take a plane ride? Like, no, it wasn't in the budget, Keith. I didn't plan it like 6 months ago and got the best deals online to make this flight. To go to you, I will have to go to Travelocity and get that flight. But yeah, if you want to trade Canadian IPAs to American IPA, I would trade you this all day. But the reason I asked about the citrus of the IPA is because this is very much a component of that. If you've tasted an IPA where you get that very lemony, kind of like fruity flavor, this kind of like just emphasizes that factor. And it's really good. and strong.
I do like citrus. I'm a big citrus fan, actually. So that sounds appealing to me, and I would definitely try that. So I will arrange to pay for that exchange. Also, I plan on at some point, don't let me forget, I'm going to at some point be sending you a new mic because you need it.
You don't like my mic?
It's not, dude. When I started the old show, Yetis were sent to me because they wanted endorsement. So shout out to Blue. I got a free Yeti. It was a limited edition, platinum edition, which was dope. Very, very good quality. The only issue I find is that with it being so close to your speakers and whatnot, you get that echoey, situation. So one with an arm, mine is on point. I find it works beautifully. I'm very happy with it. I am honestly super picky with my mics, and this one has not pissed me off yet. I haven't choked anybody over this fucking thing. So I will send you one because you're my boy. And
well, one, thank you very much. I will give you a little bit of inside information about Tom Bruno and his family. Well, let's go back to the first thing. Thank you very much. But two, I am very hard to accept things from. I know I was joking earlier about the 12 grand, blah, blah. But here's the thing is, like, me and my wife, we've been together a very, very long time. We've been together 17 years. Now, that's 17 years from the end of high school for her, me being a couple years out, up until now when I'm 36 and she's 34, 35, I don't know. But with that being said, like, we were kids when we met. So, like, we always were kind of looking for, not a handout, but we're looking for help very much in the very beginning stages of our relationship. Once we kind of became adults, or like maybe financially stable, whatever you might want to call it, we are very hard to accept things from people because we're like, no, we can do this. Like, we don't mind the help, but we almost take it as like, oh, now that you've helped us, now we gotta help you back. It's like no one said that's tit for tat, but that's how it kind of is. And trust me, it sounds crazy because it is. It really is. Like, I have a friend down the road, and he is a massive family. Him and his wife are massive family people. They are very, like, awesomely religious, like the best people on the planet, like so super nice. They literally have a fridge in their garage, and they have a pond with a fucking dock for kids to jump off of. And they said specifically, please come grab whatever you want out of this fridge, kids. It is stocked for kids and kids only. Like, everything they can imagine. We make our kids ask every single time, regardless, even though they've been told they don't have to. We still do that. So if that kind of gives you the people that we are, that will tell you why, like, I'm very grateful that you would offer such a nice thing, but I'm also like, ooh, I don't know. So you talk me into it, baby. Like, seduce me into, like, the fact that you're gonna do this. Tell me to shut the fuck up and take it.
I'm the same way, dude. I hate people spending money on me for any reason. I don't give a fuck what the occasion is. And the wife will tell you the same thing. Like, I'm like, you should not have done that. And she's like, bro, it's like $2. Shut up. I don't give a fuck if it's my birthday, anniversary, whatever. Like, give me a hug, bro, and we're good. Like, don't spend money on me. I get really weird about that, and I think it's because of my career and the money I've made and whatever. So it kind of goes back to, like, people felt like I was really hard on you about the hot dogs thing at the barbecue, and I was like, bro, that's not what I was saying. I'm just saying, with me, people have an expectation. Like, you've made how much money in your career, and this is what the fuck you're feeding us? You know what I mean? They expect more. And so I'm like, I get that. I guess.
I mean, I get it, but I think it's because you set a precedent of like what a barbecue with Keith McCleary is. But like, even the best barbecues I go to, and I've told you about a couple of them. If I was to roll up and they're like, "Hey, normally we have caveman-sized tomahawk steaks that are rotisserieed and finalized on the grill, but today we're having hot dogs," I'd be like, "Cool. I like food. Fucking, what does this hot dog go here? Because top notch. Like that's all I need." But people were getting shitty about it. They were supporting me.
They were kind of like, dang, bro, like that was a little harsh. And I'm like, I'm not mocking. Like, I didn't say your poverty offends me. Like, I mean, maybe I did because I fucking troll you all the time. But
you're like, how many food stamps does it cost to get a hot dog nowadays, Tom? And I'm like, 2.5. Fucking, I don't know.
I actually have a barbecue coming up on September 7th. And here's what I'm doing. Brisket, smoked brisket, pulled pork, soft tacos, brisket soft tacos, ribs, and wings.
You remember there's a baby coming in between that time, right?
What do you think they're going to eat? They're going to come out and just devouring animals like their dad. I mean...
You're like, here, baby, here's a rib. It's for you. This is all for you, baby. When's this barbecue?
The 7th of September.
That's so funny. That's my buddy's birthday. That's the next barbecue I'm going to. Weird.
Nice.
I know.
Send me pictures of your hot dogs and I'll...
He's not that guy. He's not that guy at all. He's not the hot dog guy. He is the tomahawk steak guy. So it won't be that. I already got a message. I don't know if I should say this. I doubt he watches the show. If you do, Roy, sorry. I got a message from a guy who grew up with, who's became a really good friend of mine as well. And he's like, "Hey, Roy's birthday, September 7th. We're thinking whiskey, steaks, and pool. You in?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, what do you mean? These are all three things that I would totally do all the time, every day.
Speaking of which, you said whiskey, and that just actually jogged my memory. If you go to the website, you will see... Oh, and to finish that thought I had, by the way, about the beer thing, trying to get that sponsorship with the beer. I love the way you stir that fucking pot, because imagine them being a sponsor, and then next year my brand of beer comes out. What do you think?
We got like a whole year before your beer comes out. Once your beer comes out, we drop them like a bad habit, bro. We drop them like you're trying to shed pounds with whey powder and shit. So like, no worries, dude. Like I love this beer, but I love what's the name of your beer, really quick?
That's yet to be determined, but
well,
good selling point. I'm sure they're gonna love that.
I am more excited about the yet to be named, yet to be determined beer by Keith Tattness McCleary than I ever would be about some piss, voodoo, whatever the fuck it is. But until then, my favorite beer is this.
So now nobody has to ask why we didn't get that sponsorship.
Look, yeah, for a year, Voodoo Ranger, like, don't hate me. Like, come on, he's my friend.
In a year, y'all are pissed. But for now, you're good.
So good, so delicious. But until his beer comes out, because then unfortunately, like, there's a standard to be set. This is the brisket of beers, is Keith's beer. Mine is the hot dog of beers.
I am gonna troll now and purposely make mine taste like absolute fucking rectum, just so you look like a fool.
I'm sure that's great for sales. Can you please tell us why on the bottle it says, "Hey, have you ever tossed a salad of a guy in a Viking unitard? Well, welcome to my beer, bitches." And it has a picture of your brown eye. Keith, you but the problem is you're in a point in your career where you could do that and they'd be like, "Okay, sure. Like, you're still more famous than we are, so go for it."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've contemplated putting on the cans and the bottles of my beer. If you haven't taken home someone ugly, you're not drinking this right. Just to troll people. But yeah, back to what I was saying because of the whiskey thing. what people will find on the website also, besides the beer, is I have a brand of hot sauces coming out. I've currently made one flavor already that people have tried free just because they're my people and they love it, and it is smoked cherry and whiskey. Ooh. And it's habanero, so it's not overly hot, but it's got a kick to it, man, because I kept the seeds in there.
You dirty bastard! How dare you?
You know,
hottest of the pepper.
It kicks like a mule, but yeah, a buddy of mine loves it, and his daughter's like young, like 9 or 10 or something, and she loves it too. And I was like, that's awesome, you know. So they're big fans of it.
What's the name of the website where they can get it from again?
Let me pull that up for you, my good sir. And I appreciate you for asking. That's rad as hell. They're not out yet, but if you become a member on the website, it is a one-time fee, $25 Canadian. Ooh. Canadian. So for you Americans, it's like $1.50. And because our dollar ain't worth shit. And one-time fee, you'll get access to pre-sales. So before this hits the market, you'll get first dibs on buying it. And that's pretty rad. People will get to get exclusive access first, pre-sale, before it's made available to the public.
When it's
you'll get to buy it first.
When it's technically like the craft brew of it all, because when you make it like the artesian version of the cherry whiskey hot sauce, habanero hot sauce. Just really quickly for the fans, if you're buying that in Americanos, it is $18.40.
Wow. So yes, that's for the membership. So
yes, that's top notch.
And it's a one-time, lifetime long.
Membership. It's like an exclusive membership. And just for anyone that makes, I got fat thumbs, so I type horribly. Make sure you type in Tattness.com, not Tattness.com, because all you'll
you
see
might
is
get something different
jugs, and you don't want that. You want Tattness.com. You can buy hot sauce from Tattness.com. You can buy self-loathing and despair from Tattness.com. But my God, the cans.
I mean, theirs sounds better already. I can't compete with that. Thanks a lot, Dick. This is a great idea, and I would love to branch off into rum. So, any rum companies out there that would like to work with me, do what Last Spike did and reach out, and let's get it done. I would be about that life.
No, please, you go first.
No, finish your thought, my guy.
Well, it's not really a finishing thought. It's actually a broach to a quick question, well, a longer question, followed by the thing I wanted to show you. But, and I'm sorry, guys. Once again, beer. What is the story that you go to? Because we've been talking a lot about alcohol. When is the time that you've made the biggest asshole of yourself on booze? Like the time that you think back on, you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that wasn't recorded. Do you have one of those? I was a pretty horrible drinker for some time, so I have a couple, but do you have a bad, oh my God, I shouldn't drink that much story?
I don't think it was bad. It was just hilarious that, and I was 17 and I was at a party.
17.
Friends of mine were all older than me in high school, and it was hilarious. We had this birthday party for one of my buddy's brothers, and it was a whole thing, and it was hilarious. So they had a 24-hour grocery store literally across the street from the house. So anytime we ran out of anything, my buddy would be like, "You're coming with me, let's go. We're going to get some more shit." And I'm like, all right. I was in no position. I was 17, wasted. And I'm stumbling around, scaring old ladies in the aisles and shit because they could tell I'm obviously just wrecked. And it was so damn funny. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I remember my first booze, Sonny. That's just me interjecting. Please continue. You're scaring old ladies and walking around the store. And by the way, anyone before you get judgy and shit, the age of legality for booze over in Canada is much lower than America. So like just remember that when he tells the story. So you're 17.
Yeah, it was not. It's 19 here in
Oh, they
Canada.
upped it?
It was always 19
Are you sure?
to buy booze. Yeah, 21 in America, 19 here.
Well, I used to go to certain clubs in Montreal when I was an 18-year-old.
Oh, Montreal's different.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. And here in Alberta, it's 18, as the missus pointed out, because Alberta's different. I'm from Toronto, from Ontario. That's a different province, man. It's all different. It was 19 in most provinces. So I stand corrected. BC and Toronto, yeah, Ontario. But I was in this grocery store with my buddy, and I'm wrecked. I am just sloshed, and I don't know. It was so damn funny. You know how sometimes you just see something out of the corner of your eye. So here, grocery stores, and I'm sure you guys do too, have like these sections where it's bulk stuff. You grab a clear bag, you just throw what you want in it, and you weigh it.
Yeah.
You pay by price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody had a change of heart, I suppose, at some point. They had a bag full of M&Ms, and they decided, screw this. They put it on a shelf. It did not belong there. It was from the bulk section. They just threw it on a shelf. Fuck it, I'm not buying this. So my buddy's walking through the aisle. He's buying what he's buying. He's grabbing the stuff. I don't even look in the direction of these things. I see them out of the corner of my eye, and I grab them, and I'm just chowing down. And that's so not me. Like, I don't remember much of that. And so we go to the cash. I'm standing there just mowing down on these things. He's buying his shit. And then we get outside, and he's looking at his list of things to make sure he didn't forget anything. And he stops, and he looks up at me and goes, "Where the fuck did you get those?" And I looked down at them, and I looked at them and was like, I don't know. I had no recollection at all. It was like a reflex. And I'm just mowing down on these things. Where the fuck did you get M&Ms? And I'm like, I look at the bag confused, and I look up, and I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. So then we get back to the house, and at some point, we run out of mixer again for the drinks. And he's like, I guess we got to go back to the store. And I'm like, cool, I need more M&Ms. And they're like, what is he talking about? And then he's just like, don't worry about it. It's a long story. So that was... yeah, that was a time. It was.
Did your buddy get charged for the M&Ms or
no?
Illicit gain M&Ms. Oh, the best
right.
Did you get more M&Ms?
No, that was a one-off, and I'm kind of glad because I'm not that dude. But yeah, I had no recollection until I was reminded. And I was like, oh no, I did do that, didn't I? Like, I remember, I could still taste the fucking things. Like,
you are so honest. I'm surprised you didn't go there the following day, like hungover, just fucking half drunk still. Be like, I still have abs. I need to work off my debt. Where's your bros?
You know, I totally wanted to go pay for the shit. They're like, you don't even know what they weighed. You wouldn't know what the fuck. And they'd be like, dude, who cares? Like, just... let it go. Get therapy. Fuck. You know, like so
you're like, hold on, I'm gonna excrete my M&Ms I ate, and we will weigh the fecal matter that comes out. It might have more, but I'll pay it. I don't care. I did wrong, not you. And like, sir, please do not poop on the conveyor. It is not gonna help us right now. Just consider it a gift. And you're like, I don't like gifts.
Pull a Bruno and be like, no, I cannot accept this generosity.
So the drunkest I have ever been, and the drunkest fun. There was one time where I drank way too much and it was scary, but that's not a fun story. Um, I went to the prom. Do you guys have prom in Canada?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
like what's that all about? Is it like you've seen American Pie? Is it that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I got to go to the senior prom as a junior. I'll tell you how. I got invited by a girl that was a senior, and she wasn't like whatever it was. I was really good friends with her brother, and she invited me, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I want to go to prom because all my friends were the grade above me. So I'm like, this is gonna be a great time. I go, I get the tux, the whole thing, and I get a call from her like 3 days before prom, and she's like, by the way, I broke my leg in a car accident. You don't have to go with me if you don't want. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, can you still like go? And she's like, yeah, of course. But like, why would you want to do this? I'm like, fuck it. We're gonna have a great time. And we did. Now, side story to that story, my parents were on vacation. My older sister was in charge of us. So we'll come back to that in a minute. So I go to prom, and it's exactly as you'd think. Big 230-pound Tom Bruno in a tux, and this girl who's dancing around like Frankenstein. I see all my friends. We're having a great time, all that type of stuff. One of my older friends, he was dating a girl in that age, but he was already like 3 years graduated. He's like, hey, Bruno, by the way, we're having a party at the lake house after this. I was like, oh, yeah? And he's like, fuck yeah, man. He's like, can you get out there? And I was like, can you pick me up after the prom? He's like, oh, yeah, totally. Be right there. So I was like, cool. So I go to my date, and I'm like, hey, it's been so much fun, but can you drop me off at home after prom? And she's like, why? We got like this hotel room and we're gonna like hang out. I was like, yeah, that's great and all, but there's a lake party and I'm sorry, but you're not invited, so I gotta go. And she brings me, why anyone hang out with me? She brings me home. I get home, and I got a half gallon of 5 o'clock vodka. Is that a brand in Canada? 5 o'clock vodka?
I've not heard of it.
So 5 o'clock vodka is, for a half gallon, is $11 at the time. Back in the day, it was nothing. It was the worst tasting rubbing alcohol you could possibly taste. But I had a half gallon of it, and I was going to go impress my older friends. So my buddy picks me up in a very cool Ford Mustang Cobra, which was so dope. Fucking, top down, the whole thing. And I start like drinking. The moment I'm in the car, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Start drinking. I get there and we go down to the beach, and I had an entire half gallon. The next thing I remember, because I asked them, I was like, what do you have to chase this really shitty vodka with? They're like, so we got beer and margaritas. And I was like, margaritas. So I went to sleep with this much. I remember this being this much. I wake up on the beach. I don't know how much longer. It could have been like 10 years. It could have been 10 seconds. With this much 5 o'clock vodka in the bottom of the thing. And it's still in my hand. I'm like Jack Sparrow in those pirate movies. Like, that shit is not... So nobody drank it. I drank it. My buddy comes up to me, and he's like, hey, man, we're skinny dipping. I was like... And he's like, oh, okay, cool. He goes back and fucks around. Comes back. He's like, I'm going to get you upstairs to a room. I was like, please. Gets me up there. I stay on the toilet for the next, ever so often, and my buddy Freddie pops in. He's like the mascot of the event. Pops in. He's like, Bruno, you want to take a bog rip? And I was like, no. Go back to sleep on the toilet. Comes back in. He's like, Tom, do you want some skiing powder? And I'm like, no. And he runs back out. And he comes back in a few times with varying changes of illicit substances. Eventually, I make my way to the bed. I wake up hungover as shit. I missed the amazing party that I skipped everything for, and I get a ride home. I go to my basement. We have a 2-level house. I go to the basement where the TV was, pass out. I wake up the next day, Monday morning, school. I go to school late because I had to stop by a friend's house and pray We'll say that. And I go to school 2 hours later. I get to school, and I walk in the front doors, and all of a sudden everyone turns like a fucking like 80s movie. Like I'm the pretty girl that just took off her glasses and shit, and everyone's like recognizing me for the first time. And I'm like, what's going on? Everyone's like, dude, the police have been looking for you all day. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, dude, they think you're dead. And I'm like, what? It's a big thing, and I'm sure it's in Canada too for prom, that they like even take a like wreck from a previous prom night that somebody died in. They'll take that car that they saved the junkyard for some morbid reason, and they bring it to the front of the school and drop it on the fucking ground like it's a hood ornament. And like, this is what happens to you when you have too much fun. So they take drunk driving and kids dying very seriously. And I'm like, high as a kite at this point. And I'm like, what do you mean everyone thinks I'm dead? Like, the cops have been in here looking for you constantly. They say that your sister called the cops because she hasn't seen you in 48 hours. I'm like, that fucking bitch. So I go over the cop station and I say, hey, I'm not dead. They're like, oh, cool. Check mark. Clearly they didn't care that much. But I go back to my sister later on that day because my parents aren't there. They're the rational ones, and my sister's in charge. I'm like, hey, what the fuck? Why'd you report me to the cops, you narc? And she's like, I didn't see you in 48 hours. You went to prom and you got a half gallon of vodka. I'm like, Becky, your room is 40 inches that way. There's a wall separating us. You did not see your passed out drunk brother, allegedly drunk brother on the futon over here. And she's like, no, I didn't. And I was like, oh, cool. And that's my prom night.
Hey man, in my defense, since we're talking vodka here, what I was given was a brand we have called Silent Sam vodka. And this stuff is formulated where you could pound that stuff back and you're like, this isn't doing shit. Then 15 minutes later, like a ton of bricks, my guy. So I'm drinking this shit like, this ain't doing nothing. I need more. And then, oh no. So that led to the M&M's thing, and that's regrettable. Truly
your
Canadian.
Story is so much better than mine, by the way. Like, mine is debauchery followed by with a whole lot of nothing. You think that mine's going to be like, Project X of Tom Bruno, but instead it's Project Pass the Fuck Out Tom Bruno. The only other time I regret like drinking way too much was I was in Montreal at a certain type of club, and I passed out on the men's room floor after too many beers, and the bouncer comes in, my buddy, and he's like, hey, you got to get your friend the fuck out. And he was like, okay. So he brings me to the curb right outside the club in the middle of downtown Montreal, and he's like, you stay here, I still got lots of money, I'm gonna go back. And I was like, ugh. And for some reason, after I ate McDonald's, I tried convincing these people I met that I was Jamaican for like an hour. And I mean, I'm talking a ridiculous racist accent, be like, yeah man, everything be Irie, and like throwing out slang and terminology that I learned from my friends. And yeah, so your country is to blame for my downfall, Keith.
Always. And as a Canadian, sorry, but I'm probably late to this party, totally off topic. I just found out what chainsaws were originally made for, and it's not good.
No, please.
No.
Inform the kids what chainsaws were made for.
For like delivering babies and shit and other surgeries. And then I had this conversation today I thought you'd appreciate, because I had mentioned it to my buddy and he was like, oh yeah, surgeries and shit. And I was like, yeah, how fucked up is that? So I said, now it's got me thinking, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is probably the most misunderstood movie. What if dude was just a doctor? He was just trying to help. And if these fuckers would have held still, they'd still be alive.
You got the gangrene on your leg. Let me take that off. And like, get away from me, psycho.
You know, if they just held still, they'd still be alive. Dude was just trying to help. I think he was misunderstood. Now I have to see this fucking movie again and view it with the proper context. And I'll be mad at the patients. Like, you guys are like sullying this dude's good name. He's gonna fucking be hit with malpractice, lose his license because you assholes have no chill. It upsets me.
It upsets me too. I'm upset all over the place right now with this train of thought. No good.
I'm onto something here, right?
You totally are. Like, we should overanalyze horror movies all the time. Like, Freddy Krueger is just an amazing babysitter that takes his job too seriously and even goes into your dreams to watch you. And all the kids are like, "Oh, he's so scary. He's got claws or something's burned." That they're making fun of a disabled man that loves yard work and he loves kids in a good way. And they're all shitty about it, and then they kill him. Like, they fucked up. We're gonna go. This do them all.
This needs to be a new segment, I think. What if Jason is just a counselor that if y'all acted right, he wouldn't be so aggressive, and he got a little rough. Mistakes were made, and unfortunately, you didn't survive. And that sucks.
He takes that no diving in the shallow end very seriously. He's like, hey, if I see no to what? There's so many things we have said in the last
I know. I think that's in general. Just no. I get this all the time. Like, I was talking to my buddy today, and he was like, sorry, what? He's like, I heard you, I just wasn't listening. And I was like, I feel like I'm at home, bro. Like,
fucked up. Do we we're running over anyways for funsies. Do we have enough time to check out the last thing I want to talk about before we
Absolutely. Let's do her up.
So you and me, we like a lot of music, but we happen to be big fans of rap. Would you agree?
Absolutely, my friend.
Okay. Now I'm a fan of most rap. I try not to bring up the rap I don't like, but there's some. But one of my rappers in my top 5 is Notorious B.I.G. Is he in yours?
Definitely one of my top, definitely top 10.
Okay.
I don't know if I've nailed down a top 5. I think it changes all the time, just because whatever the mood strikes, whatever. And there's so many different, I think, reasons and criteria that it changes all the time.
Fluidity is important to making decisions because you can't be dying on that hill of like a top 5. It does change depending on mood and situation and all that. But we both agree that Notorious B.I.G. is in the top 10 of rappers of all time.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, with that being said, what would you say if I told you that Notorious B.I.G. stole everything that he had from somebody else? Would that shock you?
Oh, man. I mean, nothing shocks me anymore.
Okay. All right. I'm going to share something. Let me know if you can hear the sound. I'm gonna play you a song really quick.
Is this gonna get us
kicked off? That is a good point.
YouTube's gonna not monetize us again.
Okay, so we got to think of this through really quick, buddy. What I will do? Can I post a link to this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna post a link to 2 songs. I'm gonna play the song for Keith after the show, which kind of, sorry, I really did a big setup for something, but I tend to forget that this show actually has the potential to make something out of it and, make something money speaking.
We're on TV, my guy. We can't, we got to follow some rules, unfortunately.
No, you really do. But, everything else I do, I kind of like live by the just do it anyways because who the fuck is watching? So I tend to forget.
That's the spirit.
Thank you. But I tend to forget the things that are very important. Like, hey, Tom, this is lots of fun and all, and I love doing this, but this is also a business perspective, and you kind of maybe don't want to get us not business, safe. But I'll play the song. I'll leave the songs, both songs. I want you to listen to it. Everyone that's paying attention right a second, I'm going to play it for you after this. And I want to
Yes,
hear
sir.
your opinion. And I want you to keep in mind that the person that wrote the song, it came out like a year before. And this person was sending their stuff out to everybody at the time. And I'm sure Sean, Puffy, Diddy, Combs got a copy of this. So it's very intriguing. I don't know if it takes away from Biggie Smalls as a whole, but it's very confusing if you are a fan of the man or his work. Long story short, like, throw your comments in there, and you can give your opinion next time we meet. So that was a lot of exposition for nothing. How's your show going right there? When you're rubbing it.
No, I think that's actually dope. I will add the link into the posts and whatnot. Top 5. Who your top 5?
Rappers of all time. Thank you for
Yes,
asking.
sir.
Okay. So I'm not going to give them a position. I'm going to give the top 5 people that I would listen to.
Yeah, no particular order.
Okay. I would Eminem is in there first and foremost. Like that's an easy one. I've
My boy.
been a massive fan. Yes, sir. A massive fan of his work since, like, the Eminem LP came out. Or no, it wasn't the Marshall Mathers. It was the Slim Shady LP when that came out. That was I stole the freaking CD from my cousin because I thought it was so great and I didn't have it, so I stole it from him. So he's there. I would say the combination of Method Man and Redman, they're in
Yes,
there.
sir.
They had 2 phenomenal albums, Blackout and Blackout Part 2, are
Yes,
just
sir.
full of shit that I would listen to this day. I'm gonna go into the indie factor. I'm gonna take Immortal Technique and drop him in there. I love Immortal Technique. It was the first introduction to anything that was not mainstream, but better than my expectations could ever hope for. Because he led me to so much more, like Diabolic and Poison Pen, and so many amazing other rappers. So that's 3 so far. Oh boy. I would say Dead Prez gets on there, even though it shouldn't be for me, because there's no confusing my skin tone. I am white as the driven snow. No piss on me, my good sirs and ma'ams. So Dead Prez, for those that don't know, are a very black affirmative, amazing rap duo. M1 and I can't remember the other guy's name to save my life. But regardless, very pro black movement, as well as they should be. And their stuff's very political, and I just look weird because I'm going to sing you part of their song, which you can't be taken out for. It's one of my favorite songs, and the hook that I love is, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? If we don't get them, they gonna get us all. I'm down for run up on the crackers in the city hall." And imagine me bumping that shit in my Honda Odyssey van, singing at the top of my lungs, and it's so confusing. And last but not least, I will give it to the Beastie Boys because they deserve to be mentioned regardless, because they were the introduction to people that did not fit a certain criteria or expectation of rap at the time, and they did it anyways. A bunch of white Jewish dudes from fucking New York City.
Wow, dude. I am impressed by your list. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
Again, and I knew Marsh was going to show up on that list for you because the way you reached out to me, tripping balls over the voicemail I got, that's my dude. So yeah, I knew that was a given. If I had to try with a fucking top 5, obviously he's there. It's a given. He has to be. My dear friend that passed, DMX, has to be in there. Earl, I love you, brother. I miss you. Shit, man. Method Man, Redman, I'm gonna fucking steal a page out of your book. That is a package deal. That's right up there. Tech 9, I think, has to be in there. Fuck, man, I can't pick 5. It's hard. I'm a big Yellow Wolf guy.
Let's go 10. You mentioned top 10 earlier. Let's go 10 really quick. You finish off your last 5, and I will tag up with my last 5. So please.
All right, cool. So yeah, then Yellow Wolf. Damn. KRS-One for sure. Jesus, this is tough, and I'm running out of time. Oh God, there's so many. Pac, of course. Biggie.
Pac. Yeah, of course.
Fuck me. This is tough.
You got 2 more. 2 more.
2 more. Oh. Then that's when I get like old school and God dang. It's tough, man. It always changes. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is fluid. And of course, this is not a cement thing, but these are acknowledgments of people's skills that we love and, different things about it. So regardless, you just give me the last 2. Like, even if it's based off of a song, you're like, that is a hard hitting song.
Damn. Oh, God.
If you want, I can tag up my 5 really quick. And
yeah.
Okay. So I would say Nas is on that list. Clearly,
yes.
100%. Amazing lyricist. Biggie Smalls. And I'm very sorry to say Tupac is not on the list. I will shout out to him because he's amazing, but he's not on my list. I wasn't a big Tupac guy. I like his stuff. It is brilliant, but it's not on my list. I would have a hard argument for Rage Against the Machine because the flow that Zach De La Rocha has is in fact rap, not so much singing. So I would sneak that in there. I would throw Kanye on there, like his first 2 albums. I would argue those are like brilliant to the end of time, like College Dropout and Late Registration. Just good albums. I don't know if it's because they came in a time in my life where they spoke to me, or if they are in fact as good as I am declaring they are, but they are fantastic albums. The rest of it, no. But if you're gonna let me cherry pick and take Kanye from that section of life, I would take that. And last but not least, rapper that I listen to on a consistent basis, somebody I seek out, would have to be, I guess because I have his album, he's the only other rap album I actually have. Dr. Dre. I like Dr. Dre. I have enough. I love him enough that I have The Chronic and Dre 2001, both in my record collection right this second. So
you fucking ruined me. I thought the wife beat me to the shower curtain. I'm gonna beat her to this and be like, of course you mentioned Kanye, and you know what they say? It's because you're a gay fish.
That's okay.
But she beat me to it because you fucking had to continue your thought. Thanks, dick.
So your last one. Now I'm gonna put you back on the spot really quick because we do have to end. But your last one.
Oh man, it's interchangeable. Last two, yeah, interchangeable. I'm gonna throw. See now this is where I disagree with you a little bit, and I don't give a fuck if we go over. The TV show will be 110% within its limit. This is just extra for the fans, man. Okay. Dre, I love Dre as a producer. As a rapper, not my thing.
Oh, okay.
Because first of all, everybody writes for Dre.
Yes.
Including one of my top 10, I would say, is Royce da 5'9".
Oh my god, I didn't pull from the other dude. Brilliant pick. Royce da 5'9" is phenomenal.
Obi Trice.
Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Wow.
Obi's not someone that wrote for Dre, but he is in my top 10 for sure.
Oh, so let me kick. I'm sorry, Dr. Dre. I'm going to agree with you full-heartedly. I love Dr. Dre, and I have his albums. It's only because I can't afford Obi Trice's albums. But if I was to have an unlimited amount of money, I would have both of Obi Trice's first 2 vinyls as a solo artist on those, because it's not Got Some Teeth. That's just the name of the song. Second Rounds on Me is the second album.
Cheers was the first.
Cheers,
and that's a phenomenal fucking record.
Dude, as a freshman and sophomore album for rap, they are probably two of the best.
Absolutely. Hands down, nothing skippable.
No,
Everything
not
was just front to back fire, dude.
the only things I would disagree with is I don't like skits as much as some other people do. So like the fact that Dre and everybody kind of in the Aftermath Records house tend to do skits in the middle of their stuff. Eminem gets a, you know, he please do, because his shit is compelling and there's an actual story behind it, whereas most of Dre's and even some of Obi Trace's and everybody else in that house, their skits are fucking more funny or not true, but you can stand Eminem's because they're true. So, you know, once again, it's that's the only thing I don't listen to on the albums is the bullshit.
Right. And see, now this is where my top 10 is interchangeable and it changes all the time because I'll throw in Hobson.
Ooh, good choice.
Big fan. Game. Big fan.
Games, that fucking first album was really good.
You know what I'm saying? And that whole feud, and that leads into 50, of course. First record, phenomenal. The first G-Unit record, phenomenal.
Ooh. You
know what I'm saying?
See, I went as far as 50 Cent, but I didn't go as far as G-Unit. I thought it was like the pivoting point of what I could deem acceptable for that type of music. Like 50 was very much about the life in the streets and wearing like fancy clothes and all this other shit, just like, you know, plenty of other people. But that was the album, was the G-Unit, when I saw my friends switch over to like velour suits and chains and do-rags, and I'm like, we're white kids in Vermont, what the fuck are you doing?
See, where I came from a ghetto where in high school I was one of two white dudes in every class, and I came from a very dangerous place where every day you heard gunshots in, you know, behind your high school, and it was just another day at the office, man. It was nothing new. It was just the way it was. And to me, it was home. I loved it.
So I don't know if it was just based off of the people I chose to hang out with, but like there wasn't gunshots every night in Burlington or anything, but there definitely was predicaments, and a lot of them. Like I hung out with people that were from real ghettos, like a lot of people from Detroit, Vermont. People use Burlington as like a campground or a vacation place to get rid of things to people in Burlington because we'll pay way more. We don't have any real things going on, so people from out of state come in. So people from New York, from Boston, from Chicago, from Detroit, like real people come here with their wares. And so we are introduced to a, you know, particular climate that is of that life. So I understand what you're saying without understand what you're saying. Does that make sense?
Right. So like I could relate to what I was listening to, and I was like, yeah, that happens here. That is life here. And you're not exempt. In fact, if you're white here, you are targeted until it was literally like prison. When you have the reputation of that's the crazy white boy, you don't fuck with him, then you're good. And that was what my history was. Like, I don't give a fuck. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, and so people learn pretty quick. I'm not the one. So
I've met people like you in my travels, and I will show you the clear connective tissue between that. There was one instance where I was at a friend's house smoking some weed, and we came outside, and this dude who was the third to this trifecta, he pulled out this like really cool pipe. Do you remember a time when like a really cool pipe was a status symbol? You're like, oh my god, he spent like $300 on that pipe. Was that a cool thing to you guys?
Yeah, man. Right. You know, everything was different where I come from. Where like money, of course, If you had money, you were white. These are all things that put a target on your back. So like I said, you treat it like prison.
So he came out with this pipe and we're smoking outside, and all of a sudden a car rolled up and two dudes hop out, one dude driving and one dude with a bat. I knew the dude with the bat, his name was Itchy Richie. That was his nickname, so go figure. Itchy Richie comes up and he points the bat at the dude's face and he's like, hey, you stole that pipe from my buddy Lance, who's right next to him, and the dude is his cousin. In like these two, the Richie and the dude with the really expensive pipe, and he's like, "Oh, I was just," and all of a sudden the bat goes crack, and he goes down. The pipe gets grabbed from him, and they walk away after kicking him a few times. Get in the car, and they take off. And I was like, "Oh, there's certain people that don't give a fuck," and that's how the feelings I get from you growing up in the ghetto as you did. Is that pretty much what it is? You had to do what you had to do, and that's the end of the story? Because I felt like Itchy Richie had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, one of my dudes in high school came back and told me, like, we were at the mall hanging out. Like, they went to the mall in broad daylight, middle of the afternoon. A dude comes up to his boy and was like, give me that chain. And he's like, fuck you, bro. I ain't giving you my fucking chain. Dude stabbed him, took the chain, and walked away like nothing happened because people did not pay no mind. Like, they mind their business. They didn't want no part of that. They act like nothing just happened in front of them. And this dude just casually walked away like he didn't do shit.
I mean, clearly, this person never saw Juice or Belly or Gangs of New York or anything that would tell them with historical truths that if you don't give the person with the weapon the thing that they want, they will use said weapon to take what you have. I, for one, would be like, yep, boom, and here's your chain, sir. Would you like the blowjob that comes with it, free of charge?
Now, here's the other side of that coin, though. How long do you think that dude that did this shit lived after doing it? There's always payback. You know what I'm saying? That you got to be mindful of.
I mean, it depends if your people have you like that, I guess. Like, there are people that I know that live by that code 100%. If something happens to you, they are going to exact revenge. They are going to make sure that you have been accounted for. It depends if you're that person. If you're not that person, if your people are normal people and they're like, I am so sad that so-and-so got stabbed, but it's not my fucking business. And I guess it really all depends what the outcome
man. I grew up in Bloods territory. That's why you'll see me wearing red all the fucking time, because that's home. Like, that's still a nod to where I come from. You know what I mean? Like, when you're affiliated, that means like you ain't part of the shit, but you're in that territory and you respect where you come from. Or then if you went past the mall of where we're at, that's Crips territory. You get shot at. I was able to go through that neighborhood and be good because motherfuckers are like, it's not worth it. Like, that motherfucker crazy. Like, I don't play. And you know, and they respected that. They respected the fact that you don't have fear of fucking anything. That, like, hey man, where you live is just that unfortunate piece of business that is our only difference. But otherwise, I respect that you're a real one. Like, I was cool with people on that side of things where they realize, like, I ain't out fucking shooting motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out doing all this shit. But if you fuck with me, it's going to get fucking vicious. You know, like, I don't care.
They understand you're a man of business and that you will take care of business if you absolutely have to. See, fortunately, like, I didn't have to worry about colors because Vermont is gay as the day is long. So I could wear what the fuck I want. They're like, yo, you wear rainbow, cool. Like, I think it's not like the Bloods and the Crips. It's more like the Ben and Jerry's and the fucking, you know, the fish or something. Haagen-Dazs. No Haagen-Dazs, bro. We got that Ben and Jerry's, that sweet pint action. We were the first ones to say, "Yo, Irish was so good, you can't afford a fucking Breyers size container, bitch. You gotta get a pint." Fuck you, Terry Garcia. Fucking
Yo.
fish food. Cookie dough. You want cookie dough, motherfucker? We got that.
We have Ben and Jerry's here, my guy. You're speaking my language.
Of course you do, but what I'm saying is, like, that's our gang, the Ben and Jerry's gang. That's something we take serious as the days long.
We meet at Weight Watchers fucking HQ.
Yeah. Do you know what the nice thing is? We've done so much time that if we literally do like 10 more minutes, we don't have to worry about next week's episode. Let's be like, here's part 2. This is what we did. The rest of the time that you guys weren't awake for, we bullshitted about the mean streets and hardcore rap, and you will notice the dynamic of these two gentlemen is one clearly has been in the streets and one has been in the sheets. I think I don't know what he's exactly done. He clearly
that sounds like a KKK reference. You might want to reword that.
Oh no, dude, bro. So many like people. My mom really prided herself on having a diverse group of people come over the house.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We have all. Oh, I know. I just want to clarify, just in case anyone's listening. I would have, like, you know, obviously our African American friends. We had our drag queen friends. We had like the church going friends. It was such a weird dynamic, but it taught me very early. I don't care what the fuck you do. Just don't be like horrible as a person. Like, be good. Be a decent person, and then I can tolerate everything else that comes along with it. Very low.
I'll tell you my cousin's experience that, like I said, for us, this is just another day at the office. But her and her brother were walking in Toronto, and a car, like, you know, like, she was like, yeah, there was like a group of dudes that were behind us, clearly affiliated and involved. And she's like, I told my brother, just eyes forward, mind your business, don't look back, don't say shit, just mind your business.
It's like
don't
T-Rex.
look for don't look for trouble.
Don't make any movements. Its vision is based on movements.
So here she was concerned about who's behind them. The car starts coming up, slows down near them, and she's like, what the fuck? Window rolls down, AK-47 pops out, starts firing at the dudes behind them, but aims for the legs. And for those that don't know laws, it's not attempted murder if it's below the waist. So these cats knew what they were doing, and they're sending a message. They're from Bloods, and they shot at these Crips that were behind my cousin, both my cousins. And she's like, I just bolted. And she's like, I got back to the house before he did. And her husband at the time was like, where the fuck's your brother? And he came in like a minute later, but she just split, like, and felt bad, like, shit, I didn't even realize he didn't keep up. But, like, you know, that, and I was like, this is where we're from, man. This is what happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's just another fucking day at the office. It had nothing to do with y'all, but it's anyone can catch a stray.
It's the background music of the, you know, play that is living in an urban city, I guess is what it is. Like, I don't get too worried when I go into big cities. Like, I grew up in, you know, New York, and obviously Burlington being the biggest city that's out there for Vermont, and going to southern New Jersey, which led to Philadelphia and led to New York. Like, I'm not worried when I go into cities, but I see other people worried, and I'm like, why do you assume that any of this has to do with you? Like, you're sitting here like scared, but they're not here for you. They are living their lives out here. You're living your life right here, and
Right.
They understand that. You might get involved, you might catch a stray, you might get incorporated somehow into the machine that is these places, but it really has nothing to do with you. And I don't understand. Is it like a vanity thing? Do you think that's what it is when people get like really scared in those situations?
I think it's just so real that people realize outside of your little bubble, this happens, and you're not exempt. Your white privilege does not suddenly protect you as a shield. You know what I'm saying? Like there's bullets that don't have a name on them.
So what you're saying is it's essentially the same feeling that like people get when they go camping in very rural, dangerous places and where they catch a fucking brown bear, white shark, wolf, cougar, lion, you know, whatever it might be. And that feeling with like, oh, I stepped out of my boundary too far, and now I potentially have a very bad day coming across me.
Yeah, man. When your time is up, it's up. There's no negotiations. You know, for me, what I learned is like one of the things that people respect is that I never forgot where I come from. I became stupid successful, and motherfuckers see my name all over the internet and whatever, but I still call that ghetto home. I have love for it. And back when all this started, I moved back there, and financially I helped everybody that was struggling that I came across, because I know what that place is like, and the government doesn't give a fuck about that place. And that's what the Bloods and shit were doing, and the Crips really were using the money they made in illegal ways to give the community a way for the youngins to not become them. Give them opportunities, give them a rec center, give them, you know, every asset, every utility to not have to resort to what they had to go through and become them. That's not what being a gangster is about. It's not about fucking recruiting. It's about don't be like us. We had no option. We had no alternative. You need a better life. Let's give you everything, a library. Let's fucking pay for whatever. So when I came back, man, people that were struggling, like I gave money to whoever needed it just to give back to my home. It was not about making some grand gesture. I kept it on the fucking DL, like don't say shit. But people respected that, and it was like, so I go back there now, and people are like, you never forgot where the fuck you come from. They have mad respect. If anyone ever fucking gives you a hard time, say the word, and I'm like, we're cool. Nobody fucks with me, and if they do, I'll handle it myself. But like I never believed in forgetting where you come from, man. That place made me who I am. I have nothing but love for it. Yes, it can get violent. Yes, it can be regrettable how it's given up on by the government. But I love the sense of community of like none of them have much, but they share what they have and they pull it together. Like you have this and I don't, but I have this and you don't. Let's make a meal out of this. Now everybody's satisfied. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I thought that was fucking amazing.
I think it's like what the old saying goes, when in Rome.
Yeah.
We've done 2 episodes worth. Look at us.
Right? We always go over because we just enjoy each other's goddamn company so much, I think.
Oh yeah, and not to mention you had an energy drink, I had a beer, so like yours made you awake and mine made me chatty, and we're like, all right, let's just not work. We're gonna ask people what they want, and then be like, hey, by the way, we happen to give you two hours worth because we're givers.
Right. So we gave you an extra half hour. Enjoy it.
Extra hour, I think. Do we normally
do an hour and a half? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Am I just not here for it?
You're always here for it.
That's the point where like I vacate my body and astral project myself.
You're just kind of there. Yeah.
There.
No, you always hang in there. You do well.
Thank you. I'm an old man, dude. I'm glad I make it past fucking 10.
Would you rather reduce it to an hour? Is that
no,
more your speed?
I mean, an hour is just, podcast like section. This is TV. You overgive on that TV.
And the reason why I did the hour and a half is because when we have sold ad space and whatnot, like a good half hour is probably, or a good chunk of that half hour is going to be taken up by advertisers and whatnot. So like I didn't want to lose a full hour of content to drop down like 45 minutes because it's all ads and bullshit, because we have too much fun with this, and to be limited and have to like be like, hey, as much as I'd love to continue this, here's another sponsor fucking taking up our time. It adds up fast, you know what I mean? And we're gone are the days of the 30-second commercials. Now it's like 2 minutes, and that adds up quick, man. You get like 20 sponsors, and it's like, there goes several minutes of my fucking show. And then it becomes a fucking infomercial rather than a show. And I just thought, our people deserve better than that.
It's true.
But I've taken up so much of your fucking time.
It's not time taking up. We should probably promote things we need to promote before we exit, though, because I still need you to listen to a song.
Yes. So let me run these credits, and let's call it a fucking show.
I never promo my shit. By the way, go check out New England Natives on podcast. No, it's on YouTube. We do it all on YouTube nowadays. Type it in, you'll find us.
Yes, and the biggest topic they have that I've seen has been and occasionally they touch on
diabetes.
It's a mixed bag.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, that is pretty accurate.
Right?
Shut up, bitch!
Just for good measure.
Thank you. It really rounded my evening.
I like to spoil you. What can I say?
Appreciate you.
All right. Let's end this train wreck. Appreciate your time.